Shalom, shalom. Giving honor and praise to the Most High, Creator, Maker of heaven and earth. Call this one here, not all brothers are seeking sex, sisters. Now, during this presentation, there is no profanity in it, you understand? However, it is of an adult nature. So with that being said, I hope and pray that people can learn from this. Everyone may not agree with this, but it's important for edification purposes due to the fact that you have it to where you can't even in many cases say peace, shalom, how you doing, check this out, let me know what you think about it, and so forth and so on, without them thinking that you want to get up in their vulva. You understand? So this is something we want to sit there and talk about for edification purposes. Next slide. Introduction. Shalom. Give honor and praise to the Most High. The reason for this presentation is due to the fact that on social media, namely Facebook, many times sisters are under the impression that men are seeking sex from them. Without posting what I was recently sent in my inbox, I will say that I can state that anyone who knows a person has good intentions for right matters and not a crook, one should be given a 100 to start with. What am I saying by that when I say given a 100 to start with? What I'm proposing in that particular aspect is give a person a 100 until he or she shows himself or herself to be unworthy of such. Whereas many people try to say, well, you got to start at zero and build up. I personally think that's a form of arrogance, as if to say somebody is beneath you or not meeting your standard and they got to mount up to what you want them to be. No. What I am presenting is that you let people start at quote unquote a 100 and the truth of him or her will show itself through. And this is what I'm pointing out in that particular aspect. All right. So, brothers and sisters, with that being said, let's continue on. Recently, I was told that if my lady does not send a request as a friend to a person I sent information to, then her and I cannot be friends online. Now, the reason why I'm wanting to sit there and speak upon this is because it shows how degenerate many of our people have become online and offline. That, in other words, many walls, many barriers have been set where it's not even necessary for it to be in place. Because it's certainly, if you can respect one or two or three, to think that he, she, or they is coming in the name of the Most High and trust what he, she, or they say, then, as stated, let that person or them remain at quote unquote 100 until he, she, or they show themselves to be unfavorable. That's my point in that particular aspect. All right. So, brothers and sisters, all right, let's continue on to the next part. Oh, I want to state this. I will not post a full message, but I will post my response. All right. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm not trying to put quote unquote nobody on blast. You understand? All right. So I just want that for to be noted in that particular case. All right. My response and reason. In due respect, I'm an Israelite. Before, after, and during Facebook, my sole purpose in reaching out to anyone was to glean knowledge from and share knowledge with. People put too much emphasis on quote inbox and quote message. I'm not interested in any other woman. If sharing knowledge, which was what we were doing, is predicated on a Facebook friend request, I hate to see what happens when Facebook no longer exists. Shalom. Now, what you just saw there on the left-hand side was my response. Like I stated, I'm not going to state the exact words in which I'm responding to out of the person's respect. Nonetheless, this is something that happens to have to, at least on my channel, be addressed. Because it's one thing if a male or female or anyone else, brothers and sisters, were to sit there and come off disrespectfully as opposed to a person coming off maturely, professionally, and in respect. See, you can't come at somebody as if he or she is being offensive to you without letting him or her know what the offense is. And if your understanding and friendship is based upon other people, you're off. Brothers and sisters, I want to state again, if your friendship and your basis is based upon other people, you're off. So therefore, we cannot even in that particular light and in that particular regard sit there and say, well, you know what? I'm going to sit there and model my relationship after somebody else. You can't do that because what that other person is not you. You got to be you. Solomon said in Proverbs chapter 9, if you are wise for yourself. So you can't live through the eyes and the life of somebody else. You understand? That's not intelligent. That's not going to cause you to be the best you. You understand? Now, what you're going to be read, what's going to be read to you on the right-hand side is this. Periodically, I speak on the matter of keeping one's nose clean and having a certain type of character. Now, if the sister I am with does not send a request, then you know me for a teacher slash brother. What was a friend is no longer valid. This is something I'm pointing out. Because if you already can see a person in a certain particular light, it doesn't matter what his or her friends do in that particular regard. You understand? Because as stated, if you are wise for yourself. So this is something wanted to point out for edification purposes. All right? The individual I will not name, nor will I slander. The person I think means well. However, it shows the overall sadness that is among our people. Now, I am using the particular situation that I happen to have to deal with or dealt with as a catalyst. But what I am expressing and speaking about is something that overall shows how we move with each other as a people. Lack of respect, trust. That's an issue. Lack of respect and trust. You understand? So let's continue on. My stance. When I see a sister online, I look immediately to see the quote about section to see if she is married. If she is married, I request her and her husband out of respect. In many cases, her husband does not even accept the request, even if the wife does. Why? Why do I send both a request? Because if I am able to see both are a couple and are online, I will by default send a request. If, in the case of my life, the sister I am with and I do not post our status on Facebook, since at the end of the day, many do not care. Nothing is wrong with that. So this is something I want to point out. If you look on the status, brothers and sisters, that myself comes in, it doesn't state single. But in my reality, I'm not single. You understand? But what I do with on Facebook is I use it, brothers and sisters, as a means to sit there and gain knowledge and share knowledge. So you won't see, not to be haughty, a brother such as myself inside of the Hebrew romance chat room. I have no place in that. You understand what I'm saying? Because the goal in that particular aspect of social media for myself, as stated, is what? To gain knowledge and share knowledge. Regardless, brothers and sisters, whatever time it is. So if I send something out of a video or a class or a presentation at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., no one understand. I'm not speaking in the name of the Most High to get my geed wet. Geed meaning penis. I want that to be noted and understood. I'm not trying to come with no secret innuendos, trying to use the Most High Yah as if to sit there and say, look, he's smart. Let me sit there and give him some. No, you got it twisted. You understand? So this is something I want to point out for edification purposes. Now, brothers and sisters, this is something, once it comes right down into it, it boils down to a matter of trust. Because if I can't communicate with brothers and sisters at any particular given time, because of the particular time, not because you was unavailable, that means you're fake. You're real from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. But when the quote unquote normal sleeping hours are, I can't be reached because I am not in the mode at the moment. Brothers and sisters, when you look at your particular email that you get from the white man, you begin to sit there and see it comes in at any given time, 6 a.m., 5 a.m., so forth and so on. I've gotten emails from Amazon from ordering books saying your book has been shipped, and I begin to see that at 2 a.m. So how can somebody, anybody, sit there and present the case like, why would you present it at that time? It's because it's the time I'm able to do it. That's why. If it ain't for you, shalom. So be it. Hands washed, good riddance, and that be what it is. You understand? But this is something, brothers and sisters, to be pointed out for edification purposes. All right? So I'm using a particular situation as stated that I went through, but I'm speaking on behalf and I'm taking the authority, if you will, to speak on behalf of how we feel as brothers. And you're going to see why I say this is not in dealing in profanity, but it is of an adult nature. Next slide. How to speak. Many sisters have a status of married and are not married. That is her decision. Many sisters have a status of single and may not be single. That is her decision. One thing I do when I am sent a request is the following. When I say request, I'm talking about like the Facebook request thing. All right. I say, Shalom, how are you? Did you send a friend request? Why do I ask? Why do I ask, did you send a friend request? Maybe your page was hacked for all I know. Maybe it wasn't you. Maybe it was someone else. Maybe you did send it by accident for all I know. So that is why I say, did you send a friend request? And I let the person respond back, yes or no. Then usually I say my page is dedicated in regards to the books I write, the videos that I do, and the promotion of such and to gain and glean knowledge. That's what I state. And depending upon how I'm feeling, I might add a joke in there saying, welcome to my boring page, LOL. You understand? So that's something, just wanted to point that out about how a brother moves in that particular case. All right? So let's go on in this particular regard. Sisters, listen. In many cases, a brother is not looking to get sex from you, nor is he, quote, thirsty, trying to get sex by sending an inbox. If a man wants to be carnal, he will do so inbox or otherwise. Inbox is not a special tool used to, quote, get sex any more than being in eye-to-eye contact. All right? So this is something I want to point out in that particular regard. What we can use Facebook for is to meet people and to be acquainted as a people. What about that aspect? See, if you're being shown a video, for instance, or a post or anything of that sort, and it's sent directly to you, let me explain something. Whoever is the sender thinks highly of you enough to even send that. You understand? Because I have people, let's say friends online or even friends in real life, you understand? That I may not even be in the aspect of wanting to send certain things to. Like, for instance, when I go to North Carolina periodically, if I'm around those who are into eating swine heavily like that, I'm not going to send them a portion on Exodus about the Hebrew and the verbs. We need to study Leviticus 11. You got to know your audience, that kind of thing. So if you're going to be in a situation then where you got to know your audience, obviously if somebody sending something to you and it's not grotesque, it's not carnal, it's not disrespectful, and so forth and so on, then what's the problem regardless of what time is done? Next slide. Defending who? Brothers. Most people on Facebook put the state or city they live in and many pics of themselves and family. So, brothers, to try to, quote, play hero to a sister who mentions one is, quote, in her inbox, even without proof of seeking carnal matters, is a waste of your time. What am I saying? there's been situations that people've known of and been involved in when you sent their sister an inbox. I was saying shalom or peace or this or that or so forth and so on. But because you feel you got to play captain, save an unintentional victim, you understand? You wind up making a fool of yourself. And many brothers have done that. You understand? The talk of there must be thirsty brothers out there is, in so many words, whack. One can say the same of sisters who post what could be thought of as provocative pictures. So what am I saying with that? So if a brother is said to be quote unquote thirsty, you understand? Then when a sister is posting a picture that's showing some kind of nudity, you can say the same thing. So if we can see cleavage, the shape of her behind, the image of only her lips, brothers, please stop trying to quote play hero, saying some men must be thirsty when she knows what her pics may bring her. Because in many cases, we're talking about people over the age of 20. In many cases, we're talking about people who are not virgins. So when somebody wants to sit there and say that, oh, I didn't realize what this picture was doing, stop it. At mishakweret, you're lying. Ata mishakweret, you're lying. You knew good and well what that picture would have thought of and been presented because you make sure you put your best pictures out there. So when you want to sit there and act like, I don't know, it's not like that, don't sit there and try to play like Delilah. You understand what I'm saying? I don't understand what's going on. You just don't sit there and tell me what it is. You knew what it was already. Next slide. Know your value. Sisters, know your value. If you know that any man, when given an opportunity and 90% of the time, will be carnal with you, know that your value is not between your legs. If you are aware that you are worth more than your vagina, this is why I'm saying it's not meant for children, perhaps it's of an adult nature. You understand? You will know that to think every hi, every hello, every how are you, every you are pretty is not even saying I want to penetrate you. What am I saying in that particular regard? All right. What am I saying in that particular regard? If somebody is saying hi, hello, how are you, you're pretty, and so forth and so on, or paying a compliment, sisters, a compliment does not mean he wants to sit there and go inside of you carnally. You understand? That's why I'm saying know your value is not within that. So if you unfortunately might think your value is within between your legs, and anytime a male says something that seems to be nice to say, oh my gosh, you must sit there and want that. But if you know you got your head on your shoulders, sister, you won't even think that he's trying to go there. That's the point once it comes right down into it. Where is your mind at? You understand? What a man thinks when he sees your body online is she is, pardon me, she looks good, but everyone sees her. Sisters, we know all women have the same body parts. It is not a secret. So to think that to have it revealed is, quote, harmless, you are not meeting your own standard. You understand? This is something I want to point out in that particular regard. Now, this lesson here, or this presentation that is, this ain't based on history. This is based on messed up current events that's going on among our people because we have a communication fraction among us. We have a communication problem among us as a people because you can't even sit there and pay a compliment or say hi or how are you doing without sitting up there feeling, oh, this person must sit there and want that. He must have ulterior motives. Oh my gosh, I got to sit there and not deal with this. Meanwhile, you got 18,000, I'm exaggerating the number, pics of yourself. What are you saying to people in it? Because a picture is worth 1,000 words. You understand? Stop the games. Just like we did last time in teaching with the meme in the teaching court from Dahomey to Delaware, the games are over. Next slide. A solution and an idea. We should, as a people, want to unite. we should respond when we are spoken to online or in person. It is rude to not do so. Brothers get upset when I don't wave back. I don't have to. That's something that I was told before. Well, if I don't wave back, they get upset. I don't have to do that. I don't have to wave back. Then, when what is would have been peace in the conversation is now brought to an argument or a cursing matter. What am I saying? A person, in this case, happens to be a brother, sits there and says, let's say a waving thing or a hi, and you feel that even though you was greeted, that you don't have to send a greeting back. It says a soft answer turneth away wrath in the book of Proverbs. I don't know what book we think we're reading. This is not a religion. When you're talking about the scriptures, this is not certainly the Old Testament. The word religion is not even in the Old Testament. But what is in the Old Testament, one statement says, a grievous answer causes strife. So if a person is saying, well, I ain't got to sit there and say that back, whoa, 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 all of that energy ain't even called for. All I said was hi or just sent the wave. You know what? Go ahead with that. And we have more disunity among us as a people. You understand? We got to ask ourselves, who are we fighting for and what team are we on? When we can say something like, brothers get upset when I don't wave back, I don't have to. So then who you waving to? Anybody? What do you think the quote cute emoji is there for? We don't even utilize these kind of little things to even reach out to one another in love. You understand? We brothers know that when you sisters are with other nations, he from the other nations gets the quote high back. I have seen it myself. What am I saying in this particular regard? I work in Manhattan, in New York City. Not going to get too deep exactly where and all of that. I have seen where sisters, and it's not to bash sisters, it's to bash the disunity among us as a people. Because later on, we're going to talk about the black man. Because you can't talk about the sister without talking about the brother. You understand? So if you understand the dream of Joseph, for instance, it says what? The sun, the moon, and the 11 stars. Sun was his father, moon was his mother. The moon reflects the light off the sun. So the reason why you got some quote bitter sisters is perhaps because of some of the things they've been through. But we have to be mature enough to shed that away and not transfer that negative energy to somebody who does not deserve it. Because when you see, like I'm explaining, when I see the sisters with the other nations, they get the high back. They walk with them. They make sure I am not saying nothing to the black man at the desk. I am not saying nothing to the nigger. I have seen this. But when they're by themselves, they, hey, how's everything? But when you're walking with somebody from the other nations, I'm going to make sure Whitey don't see me talking to this black nigger. This is the real of the disunity with us as a people. This is the reality of the disunity with us as a people. A lack of love. You understand? Next slide. We are the only people who take pride in not being united and loving one another. We're the only people on earth who do that. Like I stated, I work in Manhattan. The Italians, they hire the Italians. They don't care how many people say they're racist. You understand? Our brothers and sisters from the Dominican Republic, when they deal with the FedEx, they get their cousin, their sister, their friend that speaks the same language that they was born speaking with among them. And don't get me wrong, many of our Dominican people are Israel. You understand? So the point I'm saying in bringing this particular aspect out is I'm addressing the black people, Los Morenos, the black man, is the only group of people on earth who sit there and take pride in not being united one with another. You understand? Next slide. What? Now, we're getting into the other aspect of what we're talking about. Here we see what I refer to as no light, and he is with his white friend or lady. Whoever she is to him in the video, which will be posted in the description when this is uploaded, we see his cheerleader, Samara, saying to tell the sisters if they don't treat the brothers right, the white woman will be coming for them, the black man. This is the conscious community. You understand? There is a video, I'm going to show it inside the description, where you see this guy that was up there saying, the black woman is God. And sisters just sometimes feel out like, oh, the black woman is God. What is he saying when that's being said? If one is saying that another is God, you're saying ultimately who you're saying is God is the ultimate ruler and responsible for everything that happens. So when a black man says that the black woman is God, we have to ask, what then is the role of the black man? What role does he fill if one is saying that the black woman is God? He is a nobody. Just like we say that the Most High is God and we are but dust. Don't we say that as Israel? That we have no good works of our own, deal with us in charity and save us? Ain't that what we cry out to the Most High Yah? You understand? So the point I'm saying in this particular aspect is if one is saying, brothers and sisters, that the black woman is God, as that person, No Light, has said, but then you see him years later on with who he holds near and dear to him, right next to his heart. In that same video, some meta is up there saying to the white woman, well, yeah, let the sisters know that if they ain't treating the brothers right, that y'all coming to get them. In other words, get them the black man. What is being said? If the black woman don't treat the black man right, that the white woman is going to take the black man. Not exactly. You understand? This is something we want to point out for edification purposes. This is what we're dealing with in the conscious community, which is predominantly ran by black men. Next slide. What? Part 2. We see here Juanita Gibson, a woman who falsely accused a man, Brian Banks, of rape. He served 5 years in prison. She was given $1 million from the university where she said the attack had occurred. She was later recorded as saying that she was not kidnapped or raped. Remember her? That's Juanita Gibson. This situation happened in California, where she said that a guy by the name of Brian Banks had kidnapped and raped her, and he wound up becoming incarcerated. The university, the school, gave her money on the strength of saying that we didn't protect you and we apologize and this is for your pain and suffering kind of thing. Then when he gets out of jail, she sends him a Facebook. Here we go with the Facebook. She sent him a Facebook message saying, let bygones be bygones. She then is recorded as saying, no, he didn't kidnap me. No, he didn't rape me. So this is something we got to look at. You understand? This right here is something we got to look at, brothers and sisters. What should happen to her? Next slide. Banks and Marinova. On April 12, 2013, the Long Beach Unified School District announced it was suing Juanita Gibson for $2 million in an effort to recoup the $1.5 million. Oh, my mistake. I thought it was $1 million. It was $1.5. My fault. She received, along with attorney's fees and punitive damages. On June 14, 2013, the school district won a $2.6 million judgment against Gibson, which includes the $750,000 settlement initially paid to her along with attorney fees, interest, and $1 million in punitive damages. Gibson has gone into hiding and failed to appear at all court dates. Of course, she knew she was wicked. So this particular lady here, as noted, has gone into hiding. She can't sit there and be seen. Your life is now destroyed because of your wickedness. You understand? So this right here is something, brothers and sisters, we want to point out for edification purposes. You understand? Let's go back. Now, that's the guy, Brian Banks, and his former wife. After that event, he married that lady there in Marinova, And then, unfortunately, what happened with them, they wound up getting a divorce and so forth and so on. But I just wanted to show, not being nitpicky or anything, what can happen when a sister can hurt a brother. Now, am I saying that all brothers should do that? No. Am I saying that it is even okay? And I'm not trying to throw him under the bus. You understand? But I'm just showing a situation. If you just saw that, many would say, oh, he sold out, blah, 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 he ain't want a sister, and so forth and so on, not realizing that this person that we're looking at right here done caused him to spend time in jail for a crime he did not commit. You may want to sit there and investigate why people do what they do. But in order to do that, that takes us back to the beginning of this presentation, and that is the communication, which we lack because we can't say hi and how are you or you're pretty without sitting up there and getting bashed. And then some quote hero coming to our rescue when she's not even in danger. Y'all brothers must be thirsty. We are off, man. We need help. You understand? Maya Angelou and Mary Rippleton. All right? Maya Angelou was known as an activist, a writer, and a speaker. That is her husband. Did you know that? That is her husband. May want to sit back and see how far we have fallen off as a people in that particular regard. Here we see on the other side, Mary Rippleton. Mary Rippleton was a singer, you understand, back in the 1970s. And this is what that society, quote unquote, perhaps if you want to say that society, has brought them to. You don't need the black man no more. Is that what it is? Because you got to ask yourself this question here. When you have certain kind of clout, certain kind of prestige, certain kind of respect, you have to sit there and present yourself in a certain way. And it's not always the easiest thing to do because we are all human beings. But I cannot sit there and hold everybody's hand on the earth because that's not what it is. There's an order to everything, brothers and sisters. And when you sit back and get into this kind of subject, we begin to see where it's going. Down the tube. Next slide. Simpson and Ugams or Ugams. All right. Now, what is this here? On the left-hand side is from the movie Roots, where O.J. Simpson played in that. Then you have Ugams or Ugams. Pardon me if I mispronounced her name wrong. So O.J. Simpson was playing Kunta Kinte's friend's father. Kunta Kinte in the movie had a friend named Fanta, and O.J. Simpson played her father in the movie Roots that came out in the 70s. Then you have Ugams, pardon me. She played Kizzy. Remember Kizzy, the one who got sold away because she was trying to help the black man in the movie by helping the black man escape? You remember that part? The one who was sold because she helped who she loved to try to escape. And when she was sold in the movie, she was raped after that in the movie. So you got O.J. Simpson and Ugams, both in Roots. Let's see what happened. How did this come about? Here we see later on in reality now, not saying that Roots did not happen. I'm not on that. We're autonomous saying with the slavery never happened. I'm not talking that kind of song. You understand? Here we now see OJ after Roots with his wife, who looks like the people who captured Kunta and his daughter in the movie. And next you have the lady who played Kizzy with her husband in real life. And so this is my point. Maybe they were just being actors. Maybe they were just faking a funk for the moment. But my question is this. How do you sit there and play the role of a rape victim and sit there and then marry into the people who are the said rapists in the movie. Some people might say, well, love has no color, love is blind. Brothers and sisters, love can also make you do dumb things. I don't want blind love. And that song that came out that sounded special, if loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. That's not intelligent. If loving somebody is wrong, you don't want to be right. That means when the wrong comes to its judgment, how can you sit there and have any defense? That's not intelligent. So while we are in love, we have to sit there and use our intelligence. So when they try to tell you that love is blind and love has no color and so forth and so on, this wasn't just about color when you watch that movie. Correct me on the date, but that movie, to my knowledge, came out before I was born. It came out in 1977. Correct me if I'm wrong on the date. You understand when the movie was aired online or on TV, which is, online on the screen. They said that that movie did a lot. What I mean by doing a lot means it caused our people to sit back and think. It caused our people to change. I've known of people who were in elementary school when that movie came out in the 70s that was told by their white classmates or whatever like that, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So with that being the case, how then do the people who are playing the roles that have an impact on other people's lives do this in real life? That's my point. When you are seen in a certain light, you got to carry yourself in a certain light. Or just let it be known that's not the light for you. Next slide. A book I have read. Why Black Men Choose White Women. The name of the book. In the book, you see here, one line that struck me was, in slavery, the black man was told from the white man after he raped the black woman, your wife has some good, we're going to keep the language clean. But that's exactly what, no filter, that the lady who wrote the book is Rosie Milligan. She had no filter in that book when she came down to certain lines. Now, if that be true, we have to sit back and see what we're dealing with. You understand? Scary, ain't it? Next slide. The social media quote freedom. For many years, black men have been feeling an inner anger toward black women. See, this presentation wasn't just about my situation that happened this week. I ain't going to mention when, but those who know then. You understand it? I'm taking what was inboxed to me and responding to it and taking, quote, advantage of that just to show how we as a people are not united the way we could and should be. For many years, black men have been feeling an inner anger toward black women. Some of this stems from his mom, aunts, sisters, girlfriends, and women in general. What some sisters are surprised about today is that the black man is speaking on these things in open social media. I want to explain that black men have been for years told to shut up, don't complain, man up, a man does not pout, and so on. So now, when the black man is able to speak his mind without the fear of being told to go to the couch or, quote, get out my house, he will use his YouTube and other forms to express what he has been feeling. Next slide. A lesson. Monique, the comedian and Queens of Comedy, stated that sisters can learn from a white woman. A white woman knows when an argument has come to a close. She is not going to argue with him because he has to go out and make the paper. And then Monique, the comedian, said, not our black evil, blah, 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 blah. You understand? I'm going to go up to your job and all this other kind of stuff. So for those who might know or remember that thing with Queens of Comedy, you already know and see what I'm talking about in that particular regard. You understand? The line she said, I believe, went over many people's heads. Let me explain. I remember telling a sister, not in Carnal, that I loved her. And she could not say it back. I was told that love is used too loosely. Yet I was told that I should love myself more because I need to take care of my health. This goes to show that we don't love each other. This is the point I want to mention in that particular regard. All right? All right, my sister, I love you. Couldn't say it back. I was told that I should love myself more because you're not eating right, more. And I'm like, okay. All right. I respect that. But if love is used too loosely, then how you going to tell me that I should love myself more? It's because we don't have it one for another. That's why you couldn't sit there and create a lie saying you love back because you don't. You understand? It's not said, and in many cases, not shown. Next slide. The hiding behind the mommies. Many black men are not comfortable to admit that he has to restart a process of, quote, manning up, since many were not around dads at the homes. He has to use what he knows and get information from elders on how to be that best man he can be. Mommies cannot make a male a man. Many black women are quick to say he must hate his mother, yet hate there is a strong and untruthful word. It is more so about disappointed. Disappointed not in mommy, but rather in the fact that sisters say your mom was a black woman, as if that should mean all black women equal the status of mommy, which they do not. See, you can't sit there, sister, and then try to perhaps then be on it, right, as saying this here. Well, your mother was a black woman, so if you don't sit there and respect each and every single black woman the same way and cherish us all the same way on this planet, then you must hate your mother. My mother doesn't represent all black women, though she was a black woman. And all black women don't represent my mother because I'm not everybody's son. So if you want a man in your life and not a son in your life, don't try to compare yourself to his mother. One more time. Sisters, if you want a man in your life and not a mental son in your life, then don't compare yourself to his mother. Do you understand? You can't sit there and say, well, your mother was a black woman and a black woman changed the pampers and the black woman did it. I'm not dealing with the lady like I'm dealing with my mother. And there are some men who don't mind being dealt with by their lady as a mother deals with her son. I said, shut up. You know how our mothers talk to us. I'll give you something to cry about. What? You got something else to say? Are you calling me a liar? We know how our mothers used to come at us. I said, bring your on over here. And there are some men who still mentally like yes, Isha, yes, lady, I'll sit there and go on and follow through. Like Ahab and Jezebel. Don't worry, Ahab. Mommy got you. You just stay right here between the breastbone and everything will be all right. And I'll take care of the biot for you. And that's how some men are like Ahab. You strong in one way, but horribly weak in another. Because you can sit there, yo, I'm going to knock this nigga out, son. Y'all can sit there, I can knuckle down on this nigga right here. But once it comes down to other aspects like spiritual and manning up in your character, you kowtow. And one thing about females, I'm related to them. They pick up on a man's spirit fast. They judge the man's spirit and character quickly and characterize him according to such. This one is good for that. This one is good for that. This one is good for that. Oh, he's not ready for that. He has to stay in this level right here. You understand? Next slide. Williams and Jackson. This is Serena Williams and this is Janet Jackson. Now, I got flack, quote unquote, if you will, because there was a situation that was being spoken upon black women, particularly darker women, who are not being treated the best way they can be treated inside of the medical world. You understand? And Serena Williams was one of the people they spoke about. Serena Williams don't consider herself black. You can't sit there and have something else inside you that's not of your people and think you're still of your same people. It doesn't go that way. So if you cross that line, sisters, these women that you see here, they ain't for you. They ain't for your brothers. They ain't for your sisters. They ain't for your grandpops neither. You understand? So, oh, she's happy now, supposedly. But ever so often, like, and I hate to have to say it, like Bill Cosby, they'll let you know what they think of you. You understand what I'm saying? Ever so often, like the situation with Bill Cosby, they'll let you know what they think of you. They have Bill Cosby in shackles, brothers and sisters. Shackles, and showed it. This is America's great black dad. Look, oh, there we go, there we go. Stop dealing with the other nations like that. It's one thing in business, it's another thing when you try to treat your marriage as a business with them. You understand? So this is something, brothers and sisters, we want to point out for edification purposes. Next slide. A proposed solution. The black man and the black woman have to listen to each other without thinking, what am I going to say next? Don't come in like that. Don't come in the aspect of saying you want to listen. I'm not only talking about this presentation, I'm talking about a proposed solution. Yeah, you done yet? Okay, now let me say this. You didn't hear what the person, he or she, was saying. In that spirit, we have to come together and learn to hear each other and want to be genuine with each other. We have to. Oh, I meant to spell respect. I spelled it wrong. Sorry. We have to respect each other. We have to respect each other's time and not misuse one another. We have to, as men, do what the biblical prophet Ezekiel said: hearken not to the ways of your fathers. Make you a new heart. It's not telling you don't hearken to your father. It's not telling you to dishonor your father. It's saying do not hearken to the ways of your fathers. Because in many cases, our fathers were not there, choice or otherwise. Many cases, they were there and were not the best role model, choice or otherwise. So we have to, as it says in the prophet Ezekiel, make us as men a new heart. Can't continue the same thing that has been done. You understand? We cannot blame Mariette Sanger for the sisters that are doing abortions in 2018. Mariette Sanger died, who created the Planned Parenthood thing with the abortion clinic. Mariette Sanger died in 1966. This is 2018. Yes, she said she wanted to eliminate the Negro population. But Ayanna, Takesha, Tawana, and so forth, you ain't got to keep going and killing your babies, boo. Mariette Sanger ain't got nothing to do with that. You understand? This is something we want to point out for edification purposes. Brothers, we know good and well that they came with that plan with the Nixon era. They came with that plan, brothers, sisters, with Kissinger, put the black men out the house because we're going to give them welfare. We can't use that today still as, I hate to say, quote unquote, crutch, as if to say that is an example. If you can identify the problem, sisters, if you can name the problem as Mariette Sanger with Planned Parenthood and black man, if you can name Kissinger and Nixon as the problem creating a welfare system to get rid of the black man out the house, then you can't have no excuse on why you're not in the house no more. Because you done named the problem already. So once it's been identified, you can alleviate it. Let me break it down another way. I know a person who refuses to take medical pills from the hospital. This person will go and get checked out, and when told what is wrong, will go to herbs instead of using the medical stuff from the hospital. This person will have their blood checked out, being told this is good, this is not good, this could be worked on, and so forth and so on. Take that knowledge from the hospital and then go and get herbs for such, which does work. You understand? So this is something want to point out, brothers and sisters, for edification purposes. We cannot continue in the same fashion as we have and expect to be respected by our youth and by our children's children. The Bible says a wise man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. In many generations, we find ourselves having to start over again due to the fact in the siege and the straightness, we have nothing left us. A proposed solution part 2. We have to admit to each other that we have wronged each other and not try to say it was her, him, or them. We are a strong people and we need to use our strength in the right way. The issue that we have with each other is that we don't see the point in respecting each other, such as not wanting to even communicate, wave, socialize with each other. This message will only reach a few, however, it is from the heart. Shalom. Giving honor and praise unto the Most High, the Creator and the Maker of heaven and earth. Shalom.